James and Peter cycled along the same 50-kilometre route. James took 2.5 hours to cycle the 50 kilometres. Peter started to cycle 5 minutes after James started to cycle. Peter caught up with James when they had both cycled 15 kilometres. James and Peter both cycled at constant speeds. Work out Peter's speed. So the equation we'll need to use for this question is the one that relates distance, speed and time. Now we can write this out in a formula triangle. So your distance is equal to your speed multiplied by your time. So if we start off with James, so it took James 2.5 hours to cycle 50 kilometres. Now we want to work out what James's speed was. So what we can do is we can do our distance divided by our time. So the distance is 50 and the time is 2.5. Now we can rewrite this as 100 over 5. And 100 divided by 5 is 20. And this is in kilometres per hour. So the next piece of information we can see is that Peter started to cycle 5 minutes after James started to cycle, and Peter had caught up with James when they had both cycled 15 kilometres. So what we can do is we can work out how long it took James to cycle 15 kilometres. So what we can do is we can do 15 divided by 20, because our time is equal to distance divided by speed, and this gives us 3 over 4 hours. Which is also equal to 45 minutes. So this tells us that it took James 45 minutes to cycle 15 kilometres. Now because Peter started to cycle 5 minutes after James, and he caught up with James after they both cycled 15 kilometres, we can work out that it took Peter 45 minus 5 minutes to cycle 15 kilometres. So that means it took him 40 minutes. Now 40 minutes is equal to 2/3 of an hour. And we now have all the information we need to work out what Peter's speed was. So in order to work out speed, we do distance divided by time. So our distance is 15 kilometres, and then our time is 2/3 of an hour. Now we can rewrite 15 as 15 over 1 divided by 2 over 3. And when we're dividing fractions, we keep the first fraction the same and we flip the second fraction. So this gives us 15 over 1 times by 3 over 2. And 15 times by 3 is 45, and 1 times by 2 is 2. So 45 divided by 2 gives us 22.5 kilometres per hour. Now this question is worth 5 marks. So the 5 marks come from working out what James's speed is, how long it took James to cycle 15 kilometres, how long it took Peter to cycle 15 kilometres, and then using a suitable method to work out what Peter's speed was. And then the final mark comes from getting the correct answer.